Hello, everyone, and welcome to Terry Concert Hall here at Jacksonville University. And thank you so much for making the time to come join us for this celebration here this afternoon of the Jacksonville University Athletics Hall of Fame Class of 2021. I'm Scott Manzi. I am the Assistant AD for Athletic Communications here at Jacksonville University. My formal title, less formally known as the voice of the Dolphins, so that those of you that may not recognize my face perhaps have heard my voice over the years. I am not a Hall of Famer. Unlike what my partner on the radio broadcast, Artis Gilmore, says when he calls me his personal Hall of Famer at the beginning of every broadcast, and he knows something or two about Hall of Famers, so maybe that is the best Hall of Fame to actually be in. But I'm not a Hall of Famer. The folks up here are, or are representing Hall of Famers here today. And while we are not complete in our representation here today, we are unfortunately without two that are going into this year's Hall of Fame class. We are privileged to have those that could make it and those that could not be here with us spiritually, certainly here today. In my 10 years now here at Jacksonville University, I've had the privilege to see a lot of student athletes and folks who represent Jacksonville University come through and see their impact on this university and on the athletics brand and the community as a whole. I have seen several of these athletes that are sitting up here when they were student athletes and their performances. I've gotten to know several others after their playing careers came to a close and the dynamic work that they have and have previously done and continue to do with the university here. And I've also seen those that, and heard about those that couldn't be here and maybe I had not met, and what amazing things that they were able to do to grow the brand here as well. Everybody comes into college wanting to make a difference, and not everyone is able to accomplish what all those that were being represented here today were able to do, whether that was the two that are going in as first-time inductees as representatives of their sports here in the Jacksonville Hall of Fame, whether that's those that are continuing a long line of successful student athletes that have come through their programs and just the latest in a great stretch, or whether or not they gave years and years of their personal service to help better the student athlete experience here. Everyone who is being recognized today was able to make a significant difference while representing Jacksonville University. It wasn't a straight path. We know how it is. There are bumps along the way, curves that you have to navigate, but everybody, in order to become a Hall of Famer, must find ways to treat adversity and turn it into an opportunity. And I think that's representative in all of the Hall of Fame inductees here this afternoon. We're going to have a lot of stats and supporting moments to show exactly why these folks are worthy of Hall of Fame induction, but I think the best thing to focus on, and what I'm most excited to hear about, is some more of the stories that really help bring everyone together and help tie in more than just numbers and all-time records and conference accolades, but really what makes Hall of Fame people Hall of Fame people. And I hope that you enjoy that as we kind of navigate our way through the course of the afternoon here today. The 6 inductees into the Hall of Fame here this afternoon, they are special, and we're going to hear much more about them. They are beyond worthy of induction into this Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2021. I want to invite now someone else up to speak on this class and the impact it has had on Jacksonville University. Please welcome Athletic Director Alex Ricker-Gilbert.
Thank you, Scott. You're a Hall of Famer in my book, my friend.
Thank you.
And welcome and good afternoon to all of our guests, our inductees, family, and friends. It's a special day. It's an exciting day. My name is Alex Ricker-Gilbert. As Scott mentioned, I'm the AD and Senior Vice President here at Jacksonville University. A special welcome to our past Hall of Famers in attendance, board members, vice presidents, and a special welcome back to former JU volleyball coach and current reigning SEC Coach of the Year, Julie Daugherty, and our guests and family of our inductees. Jacksonville University Athletics Hall of Fame members include names like Artis Gilmore, Dee Brown, Fran Kinney, Monique Tubbs, Daniel Murphy, and Russell Knox. I am now proud to add these names to that list: Cameron Mann, Brittany Oration, Charlene Charles, Aaron Hardy, Sammy Strasbaugh, and Dr. R. Stephen Lucy. Cam, Britt, Charlene, Aaron, Sammy, and Dr. Lucy, welcome to the Jacksonville University Hall of Fame. This class is special for a lot of reasons. It's special to me because I have a personal relationship with each of the inductees. That either makes me old or here for too long, or a combination of the both, but that's okay. I won't bore you with stories about our inductees, but I will give you a phrase that to me sums them up and tells you a little bit about who they are. Cameron, the first true leader and face of Jacksonville men's lacrosse. Brittany, a magnetic personality that makes everyone around her better. Charlene, an elite competitor who set the tone for her teammates and program. Aaron Hardy, a humble but hungry winner who everyone wants on their side. Sammy, a calming presence who was wise beyond her years. Dr. R. Stephen Lucy, a mentor who cared so much about our young people and university. Congratulations, class of 2021. You are now and forever Jacksonville University Hall of Famers. Welcome.
Okay, we'll move on to the portion where we start to hear some more of these stories and welcome in the members of the Hall of Fame class. And to start things off, we have a couple of special inductees in the fact that they're first evers for their programs here at Jacksonville University. Leading things off, we have a dynamic first ever inductee for the men's lacrosse program, a four-year captain. He was a founding member of the program back in 2010. His accomplishments, they've held up over time. Second all-time in program history in points, in goals, in man-up goals, in assists, and ground balls. He led the team in points twice in a season, 2011 and 12. Also led the team once each in ground balls and assists. He was a three-time All-MAC selection and would have been four times if they had been in the conference his first year playing for the team. Two-time MAC All-Tournament Team Performer, MAC Tournament Semis with his squad in 2011, won a share of the regular season title in 2013. It didn't stop there. He was drafted in both Major League Lacrosse and the National Lacrosse League. Played professionally with the Hamilton Nationals in the MLL and the Colorado Mammoth in the NLL. He's a well-deserving pioneer in the JU Hall of Fame. He's Cameron Mann. Here to introduce Cameron this afternoon, he was a great player in his own right from 2010 to 2013 on the men's lacrosse team, second all-time in goals in program history. Please welcome TJ Canary.
Thank you. Hey everybody, my name's TJ Canary. As he just said, I'm class of 2013. I played here for 4 very short years with Cam. Went by way too fast, but I'm going to say a couple words about him before he comes up here. So first off, I am unbelievably honored that Cam asked me to come speak for him. For those unfamiliar with Cam, he truly is, like when it comes to JU lacrosse, his name carries a lot of weight. And, you know, I've always looked up to Cam, not in the literal sense, of course, but I do have the utmost respect for him. Joking aside, sorry, bud. Joking aside, I can say without a shred of doubt, like nobody in the JU lacrosse family is at all surprised that we're up here honoring Cam today. He really did make a huge impact on the program. So I'll give everybody a really short history lesson. When we got up here in 2009, we were the first recruiting class. Cam and I were a part of that. We had no idea what the hell we were doing, like whatsoever. I think there were 45, Dunk could probably verify this, there were 45 freshmen on the roster out of 48. So it was chaos. And we were all in like the same dorm room too, so it was pretty insane. Needless to say, like we were in the need of a little bit of direction. And I know a lot of sports figures you'll hear like have that natural sense of leadership and can just own a team. Cam was our guy. So, you know, from the get-go, he was the guy that stepped up to lead. He could keep us focused, he could rally us, helped us through some tough times. Four-year captain, right? So that kind of speaks for itself. And I don't know why this story in particular stands out to me, but I wanted to share a little something. You know, I played attack, which for those not familiar with lacrosse, the attackmen stay totally on the offensive side of the field. Cam was a midfielder, so he played both offense and defense. He ran the entire length of the field. During one very particularly hot and humid week of practices, which it does get pretty miserably hot out here, our attack line, which Max Gorowski was on this line, were playing horribly. Like we were turning the ball over every possession. We were missing passes. We were dropping the ball. It was just ugly. And this is especially infuriating for Cam because he's a midfielder. If we throw the ball away, he's got to go run back and play defense. So he got pissed, rightfully so. And it was at that point in the middle of this practice where Cam very, very loudly and unapologetically instated a rule where the rule was, don't pass to the attack. And like we represent half of the offense. Like we're 3 of the 6 players out there that are playing offense. So that was a pretty bold move. We thought he was kidding at first, but he truly did not pass us the ball for a long period of time. And after a while, Max and I realized like, hey, he's right. Like we're playing like crap. We need to hold ourselves accountable a little bit and help out the team because we're just not caring about the possession whatsoever. And I know that's a super silly example, but the moral of the story is Cam always has the team's, like just the person that he is, he has the team's best interest at heart. And you know, I think that's why everybody on the team, on the field, in the locker room, in the coaches' offices, we all respected the hell out of him, still do. And honestly, we weren't the best lacrosse team in the world, far from it. Probably had to do with me and Max being on attack. But what we did succeed in doing was building a culture of brotherhood, of family, and it's something that's stronger than ever today, thanks to Coach Galloway. And without a doubt, like Cam, he's the foundation of that. And I don't think anybody that's been a part of the JU team would argue with that. He has awesome stats. He was a legit player, make no mistake, but that doesn't really account for how he conducted himself in a huddle, in the locker room, just one-to-one as a teammate. So that's something I wanted to share a little bit about. And then you think about today, you know, obviously he played professionally, but then he came back to the Jacksonville lacrosse community. He's made his mark on bowls, Nice, Armadillos, Ponte Vedra, Villages, Sweet Lax. There's probably like 10 other programs that you've coached for. But if you're a lacrosse parent in the Jacksonville community, odds are Cam's coached your kid. And not just about lacrosse, because he's really good at that, but also how to be a good teammate, how to be a good person. And I think he's probably most proud of keeping the legacy of our brother, Corey Lovrich, alive and well on the field. So in short, I can't think of anybody more deserving of a Hall of Fame recognition than Cam. So Cam, love you, bud. Proud of you, and you're in this one without a doubt. So give it up for Cam Mann.
Got lowered a little bit, as TJ alluded to in his speech. The one thing I was thinking kind of driving over here, as people start asking me, are you nervous, is I really hope I'm not going first. So you guys sitting to the right of me, you're welcome for me getting out of the way. One thing that's not in my speech, but it kind of came to me as TJ was talking there and hearing my son Nate start screaming, obviously celebrating for me, is one thing we always broke the huddle with in our second half was, let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for some explicit dinner. And I just thought about that with Nate. Nate should probably take a little bit of a nap, even though he's excited, I'm sure, for his dad. But as I get into this, thank you. I'm honored and proud to be here. Cannot express my gratitude to JU, the men's lacrosse program, and my teammates, friends, and parents for coming here to help celebrate this accomplishment. As a kid from Hamilton, Ontario, whose only vacations were to lacrosse tournaments, I never made my way down to Florida. So when Coach Kerwick called me to say that JU was starting up a program and that he wanted me to come visit, I figured, you know what, at least I'd get to go see the beach. I'll never forget stepping out of the airport at Jack's and immediately starting to sweat. Like I said, I'm from Canada. This body is meant for the cold, not for the heat. Walking into Coach Kerwick's wood-pelted station wagon, his favorite car at the time, blasting the classic Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, his favorite CD. And I remember thinking to myself, sitting in the front seat, what the hell am I getting myself into? It only took about 24 hours of being on campus and being at the beach where he brought me first, knowing what the appeal is to Jacksonville, to realize this is where I wanted to spend the next 4 years of my life. Every program in the country promises you the idea of this is a tight-knit group, a family. We all work together. No matter what phone call you're on, no matter what recruiting visit you go to, that's what they say. But from the moment 52 men's lacrosse players took this campus by storm, and literally by storm, if you were here, I'm sure you knew, we knew this was different, something special. We did not form any cliques. We did not separate by from location and where you're from. We went 52 people deep everywhere we went. This was not great for a lot of the places that we went to. As much as we loved it, I can tell you it was not always a good thing. But we built a bond that was unlike any other place in the country. As I said, I'm honored to stand up here on behalf of men's lacrosse, but I know it could not be a reality with so many people helping me along the way. For anybody that knows me, there's a few things that sum up my career and my life. 1, I will not go to my left hand no matter what. Number 2, please do not call me by my middle name. 3, lacrosse has been my life, and I absolutely love going to battle with my boys all the time. And lastly, I'm a little bit of a mama's boy. With those things in mind, I would like to thank so many people for being an influential part of my life in this award. Coach Kerwick and Coach Duncan and all the other coaches that have been a part of this program, thank you for taking a chance on a small town kid from Canada and building a place we can form relationships and never want to lose. You guys brought joy to the field every single day and showed the way lacrosse should always be played. We always stick by the mottos you guys always said. Every day is a holiday and every meal is a banquet. Dr. Wilson, thank you for confirming my love for education and guiding me through to become the best professional version of myself. Your energy and passion is something I've always admired, and try and show on a day-to-day basis. My teammates, a lot of you guys here today, too many to name one by one, but this truly could not be accomplished without the relationships we built on and off the field. Our friendships that live to this day epitomize what this program is all about. We were asked to come in and lay a framework for what this program can become, and it should make us all happy to see our traditions and mentalities still be displayed by Coach Galloway and this team today. FTB became a mantra for how we lived, and I appreciate having every single one of you in my life every single day. My beautiful wife, Jessica, and son, Nathaniel, thank you for continuing to better me every single day. Although standing up here is one of the greatest accomplishments of my life, creating a loving family with you and Nate will forever be second to none. I look forward to seeing Nate as JU's class of 2044 and cheering him on from Rock Beach. And lastly, my mom. Jessica, my wife's gonna kill me because the only thing she wanted on her wedding is for me to tear up. So I promised I wouldn't do that today, but excuse me. Thank you for absolutely everything. You've supported my love and dream of lacrosse since you placed a stick in my hand at 2 years old. Sorry. You never gave me an excuse when we couldn't afford equipment. You never complained about bringing me to practice after a long shift at the hospital. And you always held me in check with a kick in the ass when I wasn't playing as hard as you thought I could. You always found a way, and when I came back from JU, that's exactly what you told me. If this is where you want to go, we'll find a way to make it happen. There is no better feeling on game day. I love going out and competing with my best friends and doing whatever I can to help the team. But most importantly, I showed up every single day and hope to make you proud. You have been in my corner every day of my life, and I hope that I've created a legacy that you feel proud of. I love you with all my heart, and this is for you. When people ask me about JU, I respond, this is the type of place that it is what you make it. Little did I know that it would have such a hand make me the man that I am today. Looking back, it was one hell of a ride. I look forward to forever being associated with this school, this program, and these people for the rest of my life. Win the day. Thank you.
Wow, that was a heck of a start. Even had me a little bit feeling it, but that's what these are all about, right? It is about the stories that help create these folks into who they are and how they got to this point. Moving on to another trailblazing member of this Hall of Fame and a first ever inductee for her program. Another one who overcame adversity, but she had to overcome adversity the moment she stepped on campus. She was decorated and tough throughout her career. 4-time first-team all-conference selection. 4-time all-tournament performer. 2-time ASUN Defensive Player of the Year. 2015 ASUN Tournament MVP. She's the all-time leader in ground balls in program history, 2nd in caused turnovers, 3rd in draw controls, and she was versatile. 9th in goals scored as well as 11th in points. She's one of 17 members of the 100 Club in women's lacrosse history at JU. She's one of just 4 to do it in 3 different statistical categories. 134 career draw controls, 106 points, 104 career ground balls. Every team she was on was championship level. They won the 2012 NLC Tournament Championship. They joined the ASUN the next year and just rattled off 3 straight regular season and tournament championships, no big deal. She was part of the first 3 NCAA tournament trips in program history. And then when she finished her playing career, she stepped onto the sideline and served as an assistant coach from 2016 through 2021 and had a major impact on every other player that came through and held a stick and wore that Jacksonville jersey. No better person to break through and become the first women's lacrosse JU Hall of Famer than Brittany Orsini. Here to introduce Britt this afternoon, her former coach and coworker, five-time ASUN Coach of the Year. Please welcome Mindy McCord.
Congratulations to all of you and your accomplishments, well deserved. See, when you turn 50, you have to start with readers now. Britt maybe gave me gray hairs, but 50 gives me readers. Just kidding, Britt. It's been a privilege to have started the JU Women's Lacrosse program in 2010, and history is important because it's incredible to be considered one of the best in a successful program. After the strategy of our first recruiting class of 21 freshmen to field the first team, along with the men's tremendous amount of freshmen, trust me, I assure you, all of the coaches, Duncan can speak on their behalf, we had a lot of sleepless nights, but it was so much fun to bring just such an energetic, youthful group to this campus to build a program together. Britt was a part of our second recruiting class that had been recruited with the purpose of bringing more athleticism and competitiveness to the team. With the right players returning from year one, who actually wanted to build a championship program, in Britt's class, we launched our program into its first winning season and 9 straight championships. Britt had an interesting and difficult journey, having to redshirt her freshman year, not realizing what a great gift it would be to play a 5th year and pursue a master's in business administration. While we are here to recognize her athletic accolades, I would be remiss if I didn't say how proud I am of her successful undergraduate degree and master's in business administration, as we can all agree that the true gift is an education, and that has always been a top priority of our program. Britt did not care much about personal accolades. She cared about winning, her team winning. She cared about her family, her teammates, her coaches. Her energy can light up a room. Her talent wasn't only her tremendous ability to connect with her teammates on the field, but it was to make meaningful relationships and connections with others. This is what has also made her a great and successful coach. You could always count on her to go 110% on the field, especially at the pre-game dance party in the locker room. If I were to put a slogan next to her name, it would say, "Go hard or go home." But this also cost her and her teammates some punishment runs back in the day. In high school, Britt was a superstar offensive player. But what made her great and really solidified this Hall of Fame honor was her tremendous play on the draw, ride, and defensive side of the ball. Britt still today has tremendous athleticism, still whipping up on current players at the college level. When Britt takes the field, she played like she was 6 feet tall. Her enthusiasm, confidence, love of the game, passion, competitive nature allowed her to become one of the very best players in JU history. Her accolades, stats speak for themselves, but I know most importantly how much she valued the structure, process, memories, and the people over any personal accolade. When it mattered the most, she brought it. Being a conference tournament team selection all 4 years, and tournament MVP in 2015, by far her best year, and our programs too, with the most wins in program history at 17, and her and Coach Paul leading the helm during my maternity leave. Coach Paul said Britt was a coach on the field. She enjoyed studying the game. She had the best mind on the field, which took her already great athleticism to the next level. If we had 10 more of Britt, we would have never lost a game and won an NCAA title. Founding program player Jess Hotchkiss-Vossler had this to say: Britt is the embodiment of JU Women's Lacrosse, extremely tenacious and dominant. She's so fun and loves others deeply. She's always been committed to the mission of the program and wanting to take it to the next level. And her best friend and teammate, Chelsea Watts, Brittany is the definition of a champion. She goes into every scenario, whether it be a game, a practice, a scrimmage, as a champion. She's playing like she's in the Olympics. She's a Jersey girl at heart, which comes with tenacity, hard work, and lots of attitude. She's someone I look up to today, not only as a lax player, but an even better person and friend. Hashtag Lions for Life. By the way, Lions is one of our inter-squad Olympic teams that we've had since the inception of our program, and our alumni are still very connected to the competitiveness of those teams. Trustworthiness and loyalty are qualities I think of when I think of Britt. That started with how she was raised. The trust and love from her pop-pop and her mom. They never cleared a path for her. They allowed her to take her own journey, thus helping her to grow through our coaching and mentorship even during hard times. This allowed Britt to develop a strong independence at a young age, somewhat of a stubbornness at times, and helped to give her the confidence to launch a career in coaching. Britt, coaching and mentoring and watching you as a young 16-year-old grow into an amazing woman and coach has been one of the best gifts of my lifetime. Having had the honor to work by your side as a coaching colleague to grow our program are memories I'll cherish forever. Your love and positivity are at the heart of our program. I am honored this day to share with your family, friends, colleagues, current players, and our alumni. Your mom is looking down, very proud of you today. I present to you JU Women's Lacrosse, first inductee into the Athletics Hall of Fame, Brittany Oration.
All right. Well, first and foremost, Coach McCord, thank you so much for that wonderful speech. Obviously, wouldn't be here without your love and support over the last 11 years, 12 years that we've been together. But I want to thank everyone for obviously putting this on. Alex, I'm very, very blessed to be up at this stage. I also want to thank the athletic department for the decision to induct me into the Hall of Fame. I'm truly honored. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I want to congratulate my fellow inductees on their acceptance into the Hall of Fame as well. Congratulations to you all. It's very well deserved. So I'm going to go way back. I'm going to throw it back. I don't know if I can follow up Cam's speech, though, guys. I'm a little nervous now. But I'm going to throw it back to the first time that I knew I fell in love with the game. And the first time that was actually with my dad and my brother, Brett, who's here today. Thank you for coming. And I remember it like it was yesterday. We were actually at a local middle school in our hometown, and my brother was testing out a deep pole, and my dad was playing with a short stick. And, it was actually for my brother to get into the sport of lacrosse. It wasn't for me. But little did we know, Brett would actually take up music, and I would be the one with a lacrosse stick in my hand 24/7. I was instantly hooked, and I couldn't get enough of the sport. I love the physicality, as Coach mentioned, the creativity and the camaraderie of the game. With the support of my mom and my pop-up, I instantly was signed up for everything you could imagine, from clinics to club ball to summer tournaments. And there was absolutely no better feeling than packing up the cooler, driving hours on end to sit in 100-degree weather to play on a field that at the time had no boundaries. Those car rides and tournaments gave me time with my mom that I am forever grateful for. Now, why in the heck would my mom and I sit at these tournaments, sweating uncontrollably for hours and hours and hours? At the time, we thought it was just to play games and to be with friends. We were completely naive to the recruiting process. Before we knew it, I had received a few phone calls with coaches sharing their interest. This was all before they saw my transcript, of course. All right. But there was one coach back in 2008 by the name of Mindy McCord who watched and believed in this 15-year-old girl with braces, blonde, streaky hair, right, and a book sock headband. And she took a chance on me. She believed in me and brought me here to this remarkable university that together, with the help of Coach Paul, right, we have surely left our legacy on. The success on the field for my time here has been nothing but inspirational, winning conference championship after conference championship, to beating Florida most recently, right, to coaching in the program's first Sweet 16 game. I can say this confidently, that this is a tribute to the culture that the McCords and all of the current and former players have built here. We all have the same belief that we operate as a family first, we love each other unconditionally, and we trust in who we are and what we do on and off the field. I wouldn't be standing up here today receiving such an honor if it wasn't for my former coaches, right, my mentors, my family, my friends, right, and all of my former alumni that have believed and trusted in me within the process. Jacksonville will always hold a special place in my heart. You are my home. Much love. Thank you.
Our next inductee could not be with us here this afternoon, but we will get a chance to hear from her, fortunately, as she was able to send in a video acceptance all the way from Argentina. She is an inductee from the track and field program, a program that has seen no shortage of athletes inducted over the years and tremendous performances that will continue to see athletes inducted for years to come. Charlene Charles was a multi-event standout, originally from France, an all-ASUN, astoundingly 21 times she was honored by the conference. Twice she was a USTFCCCA All-American in the heptathlon in 2012, in the pentathlon in 2013. She was a 3-time NCAA championship qualifier. She's the JU all-time record holder in the pentathlon. She's second all-time in the high jump. She won 10 individual ASUN championships. She was part of 8 team championships. She contributed to the unprecedented run of 22 consecutive ASUN titles between the indoor and the outdoor track teams from 2006 to 2016. She won ASUN championship MVP 3 times, in the indoor championship in 2010 and 11, and the outdoor championship in 2010. She was 3 times the most outstanding field performer in indoor track, and once in the outdoor championships. And then in 2010, she was also the most outstanding freshman performer in both indoor and outdoor. A standout amongst standouts in one of the most accomplished programs in JU athletics history, Charlene Charles. As I mentioned, while Charlene unfortunately could not be here today due to being in Argentina, here to present on her behalf, to present her acceptance video, is her former head coach, 12-time ASUN Coach of the Year in Track and Field, Director of Track and Field here at JU, Ron Grigg.
Thank you. It is an honor, and I'm very proud to be able to talk about Charlene today. But before I do so, let me congratulate all of you. I've been here long enough that I've seen all of you play, Cam, Britt, Aaron, Sammy. I watch you all play, and you know from their statistics that they're Hall of Famers. But as a coach, we often watch student athletes, not just when they're on the field, but when they're off the field. And so I've gotten to see all these student athletes interact with their teammates when they're not playing, around the athletic field house or in the athletic department, interacting with their coaches. And Hall of Famers have it. You can't really describe it, but you know it when you see it. And it was clear why you all are Hall of Famers. And Dr. Lucy, quite frankly, was a king. We as coaches broke them, and he put them back together. And so very, very deserving of this honor, so congratulations to you all. I'd like to talk a little about Charlene and her event area. The decathlon is the men's version, the heptathlon and pentathlon is the women's version, and around the Olympics, we're told that the world's greatest athlete is the winner of the decathlon for the men or the heptathlon for the women. And so what that means is, as an individual athlete, you possess all the skill sets. So the heptathlon goes like this over the course of 2 days. You begin with a 100-meter hurdle race, which requires speed and skill. You get about half an hour break, and then you go over to the high jump, where Charlene was 5'3" tall and jumped 5'8". So she was able to jump 5 inches over her head. Imagine a bar 5 inches over your head. And Aaron, if you could jump 5 inches over your head with a little help with some COVID waivers and our compliance office, I might be able to get some eligibility and you could be an All-American. A half an hour later, you throw the shot put. And again, this is a 5'3", 115-pound young lady contesting now a power event. 30 minutes later, you line up and run the 200-meter sprint. And then you will eat, go home and take a nap and sleep well that night, come back the next morning, and you begin with the long jump, another horizontal jumping event, half an hour break, and then you throw the javelin, completely different skill set, a half an hour break, and then you line up and run the 800 meters, an endurance event. To be a student athlete, to be an athlete who has that variety of skill set takes a special person, and it is a microcosm of who Charlene Charles is. I was very fortunate to be able to recruit her from Paris, France, and because she also threw Coach Carson, who's Coach Brundage, Coach Carson at the time, Bambi Brundage now, was able to coach her as well, and it was a pure joy. Charlene came from France. English was her second language. If you know anything about recruiting international student athletes, they have to have a TOEFL score. The test of English is a foreign language. And we may or may not have had some special help from President Cost at having Charlene admitted based on her TOEFL score. And I remember the very first day of practice as we're communicating, and one of the cues is to be able to cock your ankle, dorsiflex your ankle. And that might have been a little bit too much in English, so I was telling you to pull your toe up. And she was still looking at me a little bit confused, and so, we started touching body parts, and she said her hand, and I said finger, knee, foot, and then I pointed to the end, and she paused and paused and paused, and, the team's waiting, and she yells out, "Foot finger!" And, I said, this might be a little bit of a challenge academically. 4.0 first semester, 3.9 grade point average graduating. She was just that kind of student athlete. You heard all of the accolades, but when we go to conference championships, it was strategic that you could either do your 5 or 7 events, the heptathlon or pentathlon, combine them to score they are considered one event at the meet, so 10 points for winning the event. Her best event that she would clearly win every time we competed. Or she could do something for the team and sacrifice her best event and compete in 4 or 5 individual events, run on some relays, and score 30 or 40 points for the team. And so while Charlene Charles was a 10-time conference champion, very few of them were actually in the heptathlon and pentathlon, because when it came team time, she would sacrifice her individual glory for her teammates. She was a free spirit. While she was a communications major, she also was a great artist. She ended up having a minor in graphic design. She was gregarious. She had this unique blend of fierce competitiveness, but this gregarious, vivacious laugh and would have fun at practice. Her roommate, Joanne Pierre, who they met on the first, they had communicated, but they met for the first time on the first day of school. I remember dropping them off in Botts Hall and seeing the old Botts Hall and seeing the mattresses that the students had on the first day of school, and I cringed a little bit, but never a complaint. And both Joanne and Charlene are now in the Hall of Fame, and so if I can only bottle that recruiting system to be able to find 2 freshmen who grow up to be best friends and both end up in the Hall of Fame, my career would be a lot more successful. She is now living in Buenos Aires, Argentina, married with a beautiful daughter. Let me make sure I get this correct. She is the art director and creative lead of Sendware, which is a finance and technology company. Again, she took her communications degree, combined it with graphic design. When she graduated, instead of going back to Paris, she went and started doing internships in New York in the fashion industry, successful at everything she wanted to do. I was chatting with her this morning, talking about what it was like to learn Spanish, and she said, well, I knew more English coming to the United States than I did Spanish going to Argentina. And again, to her testament, now she's speaking Spanish fluently, and says that in the next 3 years, she and her husband and child will be nomadic and find someplace else to live. It is a pleasure to be able to recruit and coach self-motivated student athletes who sacrifice for the team and have that it factor that make them successful in everything they do. And so again, it is a privilege to induct Charlene Charles into the Hall of Fame.
So much for this amazing honor of being inducted into the JU Hall of Fame class of 2021. I am very sad that I cannot be physically here with you to celebrate. I live in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, and it was very hard for me to fly out to Jacksonville. But in any way, I am very, very grateful, and of course I would have never been able to be who I am today without this university and key people that I met along the way throughout my 4 years at JU. So first of all, I would like to thank all my teachers. I'm thinking specifically about my English teacher, Mary DeFalco, who thought that I was quite brave to come and study in an American university with the English level that I had, which was quite bad, to be honest. She was some kind of a guardian angel, just taking me under her wings, especially helping me with my English and being some kind of mother figure to me. So thank you so much, Professor, and I really miss you. To all my teammates, they were my family. They welcomed me with open arms, with so much kindness. Especially, I'm thinking of Jo and Pierre, who was truly my sister when I was at JU. Obviously, absolutely everyone in the athletic department, especially the sport medicine staff, who saw a lot of me, unfortunately. I think that Doug got really tired of seeing me back on the table every season, but I'm very thankful for them. They managed to keep me in one place, which was quite a challenge. And my coaches, Coach Carson, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I'm thinking especially helping me throw this ball, which she used to call it like that, which was definitely not a ball. It weighed 4 kilograms. But thank you for helping me throw this shot over the 10-meter mark. And of course, the one and only Coach Greg. What an incredible person. He was my coach, my mentor, my friend, such an important pillar for all my journey at JU. He believed in me and what I was capable to achieve, much more than anyone that I can think of, and much more than myself. But he made me believe it too. When I thought that being an athlete and track and field was all I was and all I was fit for, he made me believe that I could be much more, that I can do much more, which was crucial in my journey because as my dream of becoming an Olympian and wearing the French uniform faded away, another dream started emerging. A dream that I was able to discover because of him, because of this university. It's right here that I discovered my passion for graphic design, and until this day, it never faded away. So the mission that I'm trying to send out is that there is always a path when you think that you are lost, that could potentially lead you to something greater. So thank you everyone again. Then I am very, very grateful, and congratulations to all the persons who have been inducted today in the Hall of Fame. And have a great evening. I think it is a evening. And good day to you.
I don't know how Charlene, in her busy schedule, was able to find time to put together one of the best speeches via talking into a cell phone for so long, but she did it, and probably a testament to part of what makes her so special still to this day. Next up, we have another member of the men's basketball program going into the Hall of Fame, and while we obviously have seen many, many members of the basketball program go in over the years, this latest one is just as deserving as everyone else because of how he was able to separate himself in a different era. A tenacious two-way player. He was a key piece on back-to-back 20-win teams that won 2 straight ASUN regular season championships. He was part of postseason teams in 3 of his 4 seasons playing for the Dolphins. He was an all-freshman team selection in the conference in 2007, followed that up with an all-conference selection in 2010. He was the ASUN Defensive Player of the Year in 2008 and 2010. He was the CIT Mid-Major Defensive Player of the Year, that is mid-major basketball nationally, as a senior. He's the all-time leader in games played in Jacksonville men's basketball history with 127, and he is second all-time in steals, fourth in minutes played, sixth in field goal percentage, and seventh in blocks. He played professionally overseas after his time here at JU concluded. British BBL first-team selection and all-defensive first-team selection for the 2011-12 season. Also played in Germany and in the NBA's G League with the Tulsa 66ers. He was named to the ASUN All-Decade team, one of two Dolphins recognized last summer for their outstanding performances over the past decade. He now serves as an admissions counselor and analyst on ESPN Plus men's basketball broadcasts here at JU, still contributing to the university to this very day. The latest standout from the illustrious history of men's basketball here at Jacksonville University, Aaron Hardy. Here to introduce Aaron this afternoon, he's a fellow 1,000-point scorer. He scored the exact same amount of points in his career as Artis Gilmore did, in fact, and actually scored more points than Aaron did. Maybe he can rub that into him later. He was a standout for the Dolphins from 2006 to 2009. Please welcome Marcus Allen.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to everyone going into the JU Hall of Fame. I want to go off of my phone. I'm going to do my best to go off of my phone. Obviously, my name is Marcus Allen. I got the opportunity to play with my little brother. I'm not sure if you guys know, but we call him Spider. So I'm going to address him as Spider, not Aaron. I got a chance to play with my little bro my junior and senior season. My first time officially meeting Spider, it was on his visit here at JU. It was myself and Ben Smith. We were his hosts, right? And so he was a super quiet guy on his visit. But once he got a chance to come to dinner and hang out with the team, we immediately knew that he would fit right in. Although I wasn't sure, just because throughout the visit, we know we had a good time. And towards the end of the visit, or I guess after the visit, once he went back to Birmingham, we would call, we would text, and we wouldn't get a response immediately. And so I was just like, man, okay, maybe we're not this type of guys, you know, whatever. But we would get a response after 9 p.m. And if you guys knew back at that time, after 9 p.m., that's when text messages or phone calls were considered to be unlimited or free. And so there were times I wish we had the phone calls recorded. I'd text them. I'd be like, hey, man, what's up? How you doing? Hey, man, can you call me back after 9? And so, sorry, I won't go too more into detail. But the first time you meet Spider, you guys probably thought he was like the biggest introvert ever. Everyone knows he's quiet, super humble. But man, little do you know, he's one of the biggest pranksters you guys will ever come across. One of the biggest. One place where he was neither a prankster or introvert is the basketball court. Sorry guys, I'm shaking right now. Spider was one of the hardest working and smartest teammates I've ever had the pleasure of sharing the court with. No matter if it were an actual game, practice, weight room, or track, he was always one of the most competitive guys, even as a freshman and a sophomore. Told you guys I'd be quick. I want to end with this. Watching his transition from young, quiet kid to family man, father, business professional, professional athlete has been quite amazing because he really talked his freshman year. Now he's morphed into some like social butterfly or something like that, whatever you guys do. Without further ado, I want to welcome my brother, Aaron Hardy.
Thank you, Marcus. First and foremost, I just want to give honor to God, who's the head of my life and the reason I'm here today. And also, I just want to say, again, congrats to the other inductees. I was here for some of you guys, but I know the hard work and determination that went into, you guys being here today. Secondly, I just want to say thank you to all my teammates. Like he said, they took me under their wing. I was the only freshman starting. Once I got here, they took me under their wing, showed me the ropes, and I just appreciate you guys, all the older guys, Marcus Allen, Lehman Colbert, Ben Smith, Evan Jefferson, Brian Gilbert, and especially the coaches. We had a great group of coaches here while I was here. I can remember when I was a freshman, me and Travis Kahn, we were freshmen, and practice started at 2 o'clock, and we got there at 1:50 thinking we were on time, our first practice. So we were coming in, we're just walking in, and our coach Bruce, he's sitting at the door waiting on us. You can see the steam coming from his head. He also had a couple choice words for us, but can't say those today. But his main message was, I'm trying to teach you guys more than basketball. I'm trying to teach you about preparation because, of course, we have to get stretched, we have to get taped, we have to warm up. So I carried those lessons throughout my life, and you can ask my wife today. Now, wherever we go somewhere, I have to show up 30 minutes early. I got PTSD from the running that we had to do. But a little bit about my induction. Alex works in the athletic department. I work in admissions. He came down on like a Tuesday at like 4:30, and I wasn't there. I had already left for the day, and I'm getting texts and calls saying, hey, Alex is looking for you. Where are you? Alex is looking for you. So I'm thinking, oh man, what did I do wrong? What athlete did I mess up? So he comes back the next day, and he catches me. He's like, hey, can I have a talk with you? So I'm thinking in my head, I'm finna get fired, right? So he sits me down. He's telling me, asking me how's the family doing, how's everything going, and I'm thinking like, okay, get to it. So he finally says, I just want to say we're going to induct you into the Hall of Fame. And of course, I started smiling. He probably thought I was smiling from being inducted, but I was smiling because I get to keep my job. So yeah. But also, I just want to give a shout out to my city, Birmingham. It's a tough city to grow up in, even tougher city to come out of. My friends who stayed up late with me playing basketball, let me try my moves on them. To the guys at the Northeast YMCA, I just want to give a shout out to them because they were older than me, but they let me play on the court with them. I was a little skinny kid then, but they helped me grow and develop and get that toughness. Also to my coach, Coach Belcher, he's my high school coach who got me ready collegiately. I always forever be grateful for that. And lastly, to my family, to my dad, always pushing me, even when I didn't want to play it. I didn't think they was gonna catch me like that. Nah, but to my dad, always pushing me. I didn't want to play sometimes, I didn't want to shoot anymore, but he always pushed me. To my mom, words can't express how much I appreciate you, driving me to practice athletically, academically. And to my wife, I just want to say thank you for holding it down in the household, being that rock. She went here 2 years. In the 2 years she was here, we won ASUN championships. So she says she's the good luck charm. Happy wife, happy life, so no arguments there. And to my sons, one's asleep right now, but 10 years from now when you're on YouTube and you're watching this, I just want you guys to know that Dad loves you, and I'm proud of you already, and you guys are already Hall of Famers in my eyes. Thank you.
Next up, an honoree from the volleyball program who packed a lot in a short period of time. She was the program's first ever Freshman of the Year in the ASUN. Her freshman season, she recorded 10 double-doubles, led the teams in kills and aces that year, followed that up with a unanimous first-team All-ASUN selection. As a sophomore, she helped propel her team to an ASUN regular season and tournament championship and an NCAA tournament bid. She was all-tournament and all-academic as well that season, recorded 27 double-digit kill efforts, 9 straight to end the regular season. She had 20 in one match, a win over FGCU in the ASUN semifinals. So what could she do for an encore? As a junior, she was simply the ASUN Player of the Year. Conference tournament MVP, led JU to a second consecutive ASUN tournament championship and NCAA tournament bid. She led the ASUN in kills per set, service aces per set, points, and points per set. She exploded for 29 kills in a match at USC Upstate, joined the 1,000 kill and 1,000 dig club that year. program leader in kills in a 3-set match, second all-time in total kills and kills in a season. And did I mention she did all of it in just 3 seasons? She is another volleyball standout, Sammy Strasbaugh. Here to introduce Sammy this afternoon, her head coach in her final year in a Dolphin uniform, head coach of the Dolphins from 2014 to 2017, and the current head coach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, Julie Darty-Dennis.
Hello. Like you said, I did have Sammy for one short season, and we tried to get her to take that 4th year for as long as I can remember. But it was my absolute pleasure to coach her for that short season, and I'm absolutely honored to be here to speak on your behalf. I was a first-year head coach when I got here. I was 28 years old, and I thought I knew everything. I came over from South Carolina, where I'd been an assistant for a while, and I thought I was ready to just take on the world. And first day on the job, I find out 2 days later I'm taking the team to the ASUN Beach Championship, which I don't have any beach experience. So we pile up in a couple vans, and we head down to Florida Gulf Coast. And I'm in the sand with Sammy, I'm coaching, I'm yelling out high line, cut shot, all that. She says, Julie, you can't coach us while we're playing. It's timeouts and switches only. But Sammy's one of the most graceful, poised people that I know, and she had been through 3 head coaches in her time here, from recruitment to graduation at JU. But she was all in with me, she trusted me, and she gave me that grace that I needed to feel comfortable and confident to lead this team. And I just remember that moment going, she could have put me on blast to everybody, like our new head coach has no idea what she's doing, but she didn't. So we pile in the vans after the tournament, we head back home, flat tire. We're literally on the side of the road. We abandon the vehicle, we pile in with our athletic trainer, Bo, and again, the kids are probably like, what is happening here? This new head coach just left a van on the side of the road. They've got us going. We get back safely, luckily. Take an off day. I come to campus to do some work, kind of settle up, make sure that Sally and Dave are happy with me with the pro card. And Sammy is in the sand on our off day, running sprints. There's no off days for this kid. She's working her tail off because she knows that her and her partner, Taylor, are probably going to qualify for the ABCA Beach Championships to go compete in their pairs tournament. So, another fun road trip for us. We pile in an SUV, we head down I-10 to go to Gulf Shores. I get pulled over. I've never gotten a speeding ticket in my life. We get pulled over, and I've got my 2 players in the back seat. Luckily, I cry my way out of it, because I'm a good actress. I can do all that, turn on the tears she saw. We get out of it, we go compete. But through all this, Sammy just had my back, and she was all in, and it was just one of the most amazing feelings to have your star player on your team trust you. When you make a lot of mistakes in front of your team, for your leader to trust you. We finally get to indoor season, which is what I was here to do. And they were coming off of a 31-win season in 2013, made the postseason then too. I change everything. Change lineup, change libero, move, put a new right-sided. I change everything. And again, Sammy has my back. We're all in together. And she leads us to victory. We're at Florida Gulf Coast for the ASUN Championship in 2014. We finished playing the match. I'm hugging Sammy, who's got the trophy in her hand. I say, I'm so proud of you. And she says back to me, I'm so proud of you. And in that moment, I don't know if I can get so emotional about this. It felt like you're not supposed to have favorites as a coach, but it's hard for this kid to not be your favorite. And Sammy got me this ring that I have in my hand, and now today I can look at Sammy, a Hall of Famer, and say, I'm so proud of you. So everybody, Sammy Strasbaugh.
Thanks, JD. All right. I'm honored to be standing here right now because growing up my whole life, I've seen a lot of athletes give speeches for various awards and inductions, and I always thought to myself, good thing I'm not that good of an athlete that I have to go give a speech. But ironically, here I am giving a brief speech. So in my mind, I've reached the level of success in athletics where I have to give a speech. So that's exciting for me. But it's kind of ironic to hear all my accomplishments and my accolades because it makes it seem like things went really well for me, and that my college career was really smooth. But I'll be very honest with you, it wasn't. I struggled. I struggled a lot in college, especially early on, probably like the first half of my college career for various reasons. But if it weren't for some people here at JU and my family back home, there's no way I would have made it through, let alone be standing here today being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I just wanted to take a minute to sort of point out some of those people who are the reason that I'm here. And one of them happens to be Julie Daugherty, Dennis. Sorry, Brian, her husband's here, and he's probably like, gosh darn it, I married this lady, and everyone uses her maiden name. Julie Daugherty, Dennis. But I knew Julie cared about us from the very first day she started coaching here, but I especially learned how much she cared about us the night that we got stuck in the Charlotte airport, because we missed our connecting flight. There were no hotels because of a NASCAR race, so we had to sleep there. And the way Julie handled that situation and seeing how upset she was really taught me how much she cared and loved us as people. We weren't just her volleyball players. She cared about us as people. So I'll always be thankful for how much she cared about us and loved us, JD. But along with my coaches, because I had many of them here, my teammates also play a huge role in my success. I literally would not have accomplished anything without them. And I don't just say that because I love them. I say that because they were good stinking volleyball players. They really were. My favorite story about my teammates is one Saturday we had a sand volleyball tournament down at Jack's Beach, and I slept through my alarm. And I woke up late, which never happens. It's the PTSD, like, never late to stuff. So I get in my car because I'm in panic mode. I drive down to the beach. I'm like running across the sand. I can still see it clear as day. It was not like Baywatch though, not that kind of running. Didn't look anything like that. I'm running across the sand. I finally get to my team and I start talking to my one teammate, Kendall Courtney, great athlete in her own right too. And she says to me, "We didn't even realize till we got here that you weren't with us because we brought 2 vans and none of us ever thought you'd be late to something, so we all just assumed you were in the other van." So I was honored that, they wouldn't even think I'd be late to something, but I was just worried about whether we'd have punishment running to do the next day, which we didn't though, because my coaches forgot to do a head count. Julie was not the coach though at the time, so I know she's probably sitting there worried about that. No, she was not the coach. But on that day, I realized just how much my teammates cared about me, respected me, and how highly they thought of me, which I'll always appreciate them for that, not just their volleyball skills. And last but not least are my parents, who are truly the unsung heroes to my success, because the amount of unconditional love and support they've given me my whole life is immeasurable. They never once complained about me choosing a school almost 1,000 miles away from home. I think my dad, he's here today, I think he liked having a reason to secretly take sick days off of work to come see me. But my mom absolutely hates to fly. So for her to spend 3.5 years flying to come see me shows how much she loved me. And I don't know how many college athletes can say this, but my dad pretty much prepared for our conditioning tests each year like he was on the JU volleyball team. Because every single time I went to our local high school football field to work out, he was right there with me. So, like I said, he was ready to go every season, like he was on the team. He might have pulled a few hamstrings along the way, but he was ready to go. And I clearly remember one time in December when I was home for the holiday break, we got a bad snowstorm. And I thought, oh, we can't go work out today, Dad. He says, I'll bring a shovel. So we drive up to the field. He shovels a path wide enough to run through the whole way across the turf field so that I could get my workout in. So that's the kind of dedication that I had from my parents my whole life, which not every athlete has, not every kid has. So I'll always be grateful and feel blessed for that. And if there was a parent Hall of Fame, they'd be inducted into it. But since there's not, I'm going to dedicate my induction to them. Thank you.
Our last inductee today, unfortunately, could not be with us. Dr. Lucy passed away just last month, but his impact on the Jacksonville community as a whole, but the JU community specifically, was immeasurable. He spent nearly 40 years as an orthopedic surgeon here in town working for Baptist Health, helped co-found Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute in 1994, where he served as the chairman, was also the president of the Duval County Medical Society and the Florida Alliance of Sports Medicine Physicians. Here on this campus, he was the team physician from 1993 until retiring recently. Think of the amount of student athletes that he connected with over those years and those times. Just seeing the messages that came pouring out, both on social media and collectively in the community after his death, really said it all about what he meant to everyone that he worked with over the years and everyone he was able to impact on a positive level, especially here at JU. This past April, the athletics training room in the athletics field house was named in his honor. It was a surprise. His family was there to greet him when he showed up with his wife, and the smile that never left his face that day really said it all. He was a servant leader, a respected man and doctor, a well-deserving entry as a special contributor to the Jacksonville Athletics Hall of Fame, Dr. R. Stephen Lucy. Introducing Dr. Lucy's son, Ryland, to accept the honor on the behalf of his father, please welcome back Alex Ricker-Gilbert.
Doc, JU Doc, Dr. Lucy, was one of the most influential men. Ron said king of JU athletics, but was one of the most influential men in the history of Jacksonville University athletics. He helped facilitate what I believe to be the most critical partnership that we have, and that was the partnership between JU, JOI, and Baptist Health. It's so critical because it's how we care for our student athletes. It's how we treat our student athletes. It's how their families know that they'll be taken care of during their time here. And Dr. Lucy was the facilitator of that partnership. He cared so much about our university, our coaches, our athletic trainers, and most importantly, about our students. We talk a lot about being student-athlete centered at JU. And I was talking to Doug Fry today, and I truly believe that that mantra started with Dr. Lucy many years ago. He was a friend and he was a partner to me as well. I'll tell a brief story. We made a very difficult decision a couple of years back to no longer play football at JU. And the morning before that decision, I had to call key members of our family, our JU family, to let them know. And of course, Dr. Lucy was one of those phone calls. And as you can imagine, it was a nervous day for me. It was a nervous phone call for me to make because Dr. Lucy was a big part of that football program. And I told Dr. Lucy the decision that was about to be made, and then I went yammering on about reasons why and explaining myself, and he said, Alex, stop. He said, I loved and supported JU athletics long before JU had a football team. I love and support JU athletics with a football team, and I'm going to love and support JU athletics long after you make this decision to not have a football team. So you don't have to worry about me. I'll be there for you. And that was Dr. Lucy. He cared so much about us. Dr. Lucy loved his work, loved JU, but his greatest loves were his wife, Sharon. Sharon, we are honored to have you here today, his sons, Ryland and Craig, and his 5 grandchildren. We are honored to have Ryland here to accept this induction on his father's behalf. Please join me in welcoming Ryland Lucy.
I'll keep this real brief since the only reason I'm up here is being my dad's son. But I mean, wow. Cam, Britt, Aaron, Spider, Sammy, y'all's accomplishments, just hearing what y'all did at JU is pretty remarkable. And I know my dad, wishes he could have been up here on stage, with y'all to, accept this honor. Alex, Doug, Tim, and everyone in the JU athletic department and the sports medicine team, he loved working with y'all. As you said, Alex, he absolutely loved JU. Growing up, I can remember going to JU games as long as I can remember. Basketball games, JU shoot for two. Every year, my birthday, we would bring all my friends to a JU basketball game, starting when I think I was 6 years old. He would definitely want to thank my mom, for being so supportive over the years. He spent, a ton of time here when he wasn't doing this day practice, every year, and just, loved putting people back together. And, the rest of the, several people from JUI here as well, Sharon, Nancy, Shirley, he would want to thank y'all for, everything you all did to help him out. And we miss him. I know he's looking down from above, and this is a huge honor that we're glad to accept on behalf of him, and we all wish he was here with us, but we know he's looking down from above, so thank y'all.
Well, I just want to thank everybody who made it out here today. I mean, sensational. Whether you came from just down the street or you came from wherever in the country to be here to celebrate all those that were inducted and honored here today, it means the world to look out and have an opportunity to, I know, share in this experience and everything that has gone on. So thank you for being here to support all 6 amazing inductees into the Hall of Fame today. A reminder that they are being honored again this evening at halftime of the men's basketball game, a couple doors down here at Swisher Gym. The tipping off at 6 o'clock, and they'll be recognized again at halftime. So if you're able to stick around, we certainly encourage you to do so. We are bringing our photo backdrop up onto the stage here in just a few moments. So if you'd like to take some photos, mill about, please feel free to do so and enjoy each other's company until then. So as we wrap things up, I want to thank everybody here today. Again, Alex Ricker-Gilbert, our athletic director, and all of our athletic staff that worked so hard to help put this thing on. I see them dotted all around here, and without their hard work and intensity, a day like today never looks like this. So thank you to everybody that put in their hard work to make this great, and one more time for the Jacksonville University Hall of Fame class of 2021.